G'day folks, it's the Meeple Monkey here again with another, I was going to say Marvel United gameplay video for you, but that's not what we're here for. We are here for a live stream, a chat as part of our 12 days of Christmas, and we're basically just sort of celebrating it as the sort of the end of the year is coming up, and the holiday season's here, celebrating all good things and all good things Marvel United and in the community and the people and places and things that make it such an enjoyable hobby. So we've talked about the community and the places we can go. We've talked about some content creators, and we've talked about some homebrewers, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Spoiler alert! If he's was it Chibi Galactus, unpainted Chibi Galactus. I'm sort of reading the tea leaves, and I think that's what's going to be coming up here. And let's have a look in our note here. Pretty much because I've got lots of homebrewers left in here as well, and also some of these conversations might also be pre-planned from the beginning. Oh, look at that. What a surprise. It is someone who is a home brewer as well. And this is, first and foremost, an amazing person, a really kind, generous person, and someone who's always willing to offer his time, time and energy and help for the benefit of others, and puts himself out there and really helps people. And I'm talking about none other than Dave Amarasinger, or some of you might know him as Diversion Architect, as his sort of homebrew handle, but you might know him as Dave on the Facebook community page as well. And just a top bloke, really nice guy, yes, he's a great home brewer, and that's what we're here to talk about today as well. But I can't talk highly enough about what a great guy he is, and just such a helpful, kind friend. So, and that's, I guess, the first thing I want to start out with is that he pretty much has become probably one of the first folks, and probably I made a really good friend in Dave, and probably my first big friend in the homebrew community, the Marvel United community, so obviously. I like to rave about his stuff on the channel and that sort of thing as well, but it's for good reason, just because great designs, and he's a really nice guy. And he's I talked about him being helpful. He's been right there when I was first learning to make homebrew designs and that sort of thing as well. So he was there to sort of help spitball ideas. We've done play testing together, all that sort of stuff as well. And talking to him was really great. One of the first people I was able to talk to, and about the homebrew process, the design process, and how he thought about going about creating characters or creating storylines that can be encapsulated in a character's design. And I think that's a strength of his, is he really creates a good feel of what the storyline that sort of plays out in the comics is like, with his villains and hero designs as well, which is really cool. So and that's sort of been inspirational, and I always sort of think about that as one of the aspects in my mind when I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to create this character or villain or whatever it might be. One of the things I go to is, okay, well, what would Dave do? Trying to think story wise and that sort of thing as well. Amongst other ideas and that sort of thing, and that's been really really handy. So although I don't think I do it quite to the same level that he's able to do it, but he also helped me. I spoke the other day about Helios 23 being really helpful, helping me learn the process of Photoshop and that sort of thing as well. And Dave as well was right there, sort of helping us sort of understand some of the ins and outs of that sort of general area of. I'm not sure what the word for like what Photoshop is. I guess like a design tool or something like that, like that whole world graphic design tool maybe, or something like that. But Dave was a big help with that. And Dave's also sort of one of the big themes of I think his what's the word? I guess like if I had to characterize his nature as a home brewer, is he's a real innovator. And one of the things that he's done is he likes to sort of branch out and try new things. And so he has created a whole set of templates. So if you're into design and you want to do that, but maybe Photoshop isn't for you, or you don't quite like some of the options there with Photoshop, InDesign is another, I guess, editing tool in that sort of suite of, I think they're Adobe products or something. And so it's got similarities to uh, Photoshop, but I think it's more of a magazine editing, magazine page editing side or something like that. But there's some really great features that make that quite suited to making Marvel United cards and dashboards and that sort of thing. And Dave's built that out. He's built a whole system of templates for that. And there's ins and outs. Benefits to both different systems and that sort of thing. But one of the big benefits of the InDesign system is you can sort of build a whole deck of cards, a whole series of the dashboards and the cards and all that sort of stuff, and sort of instead of having to sort of create each card separately and sort of save the images, that way you can just sort of like make all the cards in that sort of spread of all the images, and then sort of just click export or whatever it might be, and that exports the whole thing. And sort of, yeah, so it's a big time saving thing there if you can learn the ins and outs of InDesign. So, and that's what Dave did. He took me through and helped me, gave me the time and stuff, and helped me sort of learn that process. So now I can do that, and it's a big time saver as well. So yeah, like I said, innovation, right? You're looking for ways to improve, ways to sort of make things in a slightly different way that can sort of like solve a problem and that sort of thing as well. And he does a great job with that. So um, and as a designer, he's got the what is it? He's got the touch, he's got the power. He really, every design he comes up with, I really enjoy. He's one of those designers that I don't think I've come across a design where I've thought, well, I didn't really enjoy that fight or that villain or that character. He puts a lot of work and effort. He thinks about it. He does a lot of play testing, and he's not just sort of like slapping things together and going, yep, that's done, and send it out and that sort of thing. He really is meticulous and takes his time and thinks about it, goes back and makes edits and changes, and yeah, so he's really considered with that. So that you're going to get something good with him. Or if you do have a note or something like that, he'll take it on board and think about it, and perhaps continue to tweak things. So yeah, great designer in that sense. So going through the stuff that he's made, like he's got two major projects that he's no, probably more than two major projects, but the two major ones that I think of is he's made a big commitment to essentially like a homebrew expansion, if you will, because it's got characters, heroes, villains, and a whole bunch of other things, and he's I think he envisages having this almost like you can sort of order like a little box and sort of have it like a little self-contained thing. So the fall of, I think he's calling it. It used to be the Age of Apocalypse. He was calling it, but I think he calls it the Fall of Apocalypse now, which is almost like a Age of Apocalypse adjacent sort of homebrew set that's sort of like either like I don't know if it's sort of like designed to replace or sort of like be an alternate version or like alongside some of the characters that are in that. But I think Dave, because he loves the story of the Age of Apocalypse, he really felt the absence of some of the key characters that he really liked in that story. So he's made a range of villains to fill that role. So we've got, I think, Dark Beast and Apocalypse, and I forget the other one. I think Nemesis are the three main bad guys in that. But Apocalypse, of course, has his horsemen, even in that Age of Apocalypse world. So he's made, I think, a bunch of the horsemen for that. So we've got Mikhail Rasputin, we've got Sugarman, and we've got Abyss, and there's some great characters. But not only that, and he's taking the time to make, and they're really fun, innovative characters. But he's actually taken the time. He's gone out and commissioned sculptors. So he's got models for a whole bunch of the characters already, and I think he plans to sort of go through the set of characters that he's made, and he's sort of working to get those designed, and then plans to sort of put those out as sort of free. I forget what they're called, STL files or something like that. And he's got locations, he's got heroes, and some really fun heroes. He's got I think Mondo, and actually have I got some of them here? I don't know if I've got the heroes out ready here, but we've got Abyss. So just to show you some of the, the characters. So these were, I think, henchmen in some of the official stuff, but he's made full full villain decks and that sort of stuff for these guys. And he's even commissioned artwork. So this is some not existing, but this was some different artwork that he was using. But he's even gone to the effort of he's got artwork from Erwin Thunder. Great artist, and is sort of upgrading those cards. So he's got a full range of really nice looking stuff there. I haven't printed off his latest stuff, so I don't want to show off too much of the stuff I've got because it's not quite the current stuff. But yeah, some really really awesome stuff there. So he's got a full range of that stuff. Plus, he's done a campaign for it as well. So not only can you get a bunch of new heroes, a bunch of new villains, but he's also designed a full campaign using the new official sort of like card system of the campaigns they do with the Marvel United stuff to go alongside that as well. So, hi Martin, how you going? Mikhail Rasputin, yeah, he's such a cool design, right? And very original. And then you say that, and then I think, well, what about Sugarman? Like Sugarman's awesome. Like he's got, you've got that sort of heroic goal where you sort of like can try and escape with the, I think it's Ileana or like the person who needs to be the hostage or whatever it's called in the game. You've got that whole system where you're trying to sort of like build up heroics to sort of like shield her and stuff like that. And then you think, oh, what about Abyss? Abyss uses the dashboard as like a separate location, so like you get actually sucked inside Abyss and you're like in his Abyss world or whatever it is, and you have to sort of like, you can either fight him from the inside out or try and escape him. And then yeah, of course, like Mikhail, he's got that big what is it, an airship or something like that, sort of, you've got to sort of like the flagship, something you've got to take down, and then you've got all those different sort of what's the word, not situational, but those different sort of threats that sort of you need to sort of do this threat to undo that threat and back and forth. Some really really cool stuff there. So, and then on top of all that, you've got the possibility of having these models out there that you can use for them. His heroes are like a lot of fun. I know Mondo is like super fun to use, and he's got like, I think, Switchback and Damask and some really cool interesting characters there that missed out, that didn't come through. And but thanks to Dave, we get to use these guys. So that's a lot of fun, right? And it was really how he's been working on it for so long, and I was really happy when he finally was able to print out his campaign cards for that, and play through with his mates and actually sort of go through and use all these characters he's made and experience the ride of that storyline that he'd been thinking up in his head for so long, thinking of it in terms of like how he was going to bring it into the Marvel United system, and just hearing like the fun that he was having playing through that system with his mates and stuff was really cool. So it was like, that's one of the great things I love about homebrew, is for the people who get into the actual designing themselves, like it's so fun to sort of like finally go, wouldn't it be cool if we could have this thing? Oh, I think I can do it myself, and then getting to experience it and stuff is great. So hi Nelly as well. Diversion Day, that's right. Just like he's a, if I could make a Mount Rushmore of homebrew designers, he'd be up there, sort of thing. So, just a great system. So there's that, right? But then he's also embarked on another major expansion range from another story he really loves, which is the Sentinels. Now, I can't remember the name of the Sentinel expansion he's made and the name of the storyline, but essentially when the X-Men sort of like go up into space and they're sort of dealing with their Sentinel threat up in space, and there's astronauts and all sorts of stuff. And I think it sort of leads into the Phoenix, the birth of the Phoenix saga or something like that as well. But essentially this Sentinel expansion gives you a lot of new reason to use the Sentinel models if you happen to have them, and so you don't have to use the Sentinels just as kind of a backup sort of thing when you're actually fighting Nimrod, which is essentially what the official sort of Days of Future Past villain battle is essentially fighting Nimrod, but you have the Sentinels kind of like as a little prelim battle almost before you sort of fight him, sort of thing. as fun as that is, that's an amazing fight as well. But now you've got these other sort of modes to fight with. Although I should say, I think Simon Templar made a version of that as well, where you just fight the Sentinels, and that was a fun battle as well. But here's another way. So talk about great value for the Sentinels. But he's got these great fights where you have you're fighting the Sentinels, but you're also essentially dealing with the Sentinels designed by, I think, Bolivar Trask, and then he's got another one where I think it's Trask's, I forget what Trask's son is name or something like that, but there's the Sentinels designed by him, and then there's also the Sentinels, I think, designed. I'm not sure if this is right, if they're designed by these people, but like Stephen Lang, who I think is one of those astronaut guys. So he's got the three different thematic sort of fights with the Sentinels, and all three are quite different and a lot of fun. And I think in one of them he's got like Master Mold as a henchman or something like that as well. So that's really cool. And you know, there's out there with some of the 3D, not 3D, third-party sort of model places and stuff like that, which I might be featuring at some point soon down the track. But there are options to get like a master mold model and that sort of thing as well. Or I guess you could use Galactus. Kind of looks a bit like a master mold, doesn't he? You could use him as well, but just as a fun little thing to have off on the side there and stuff as well. So you know, that's too big. And I think with that expansion, he's planning on, you know, maybe making some models for these extra characters. He's definitely getting all the art together and that sort of stuff for them. He's I dare say probably going to do a campaign for that mode as well. So just lots of great stuff. And I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, what else is coming from him, sort of thing as well. But to give you a sense of, like, you know, just how innovative and what else he does, like, so those are his two big major projects. But like I said, he's a real sort of innovator, and you know, he has created, through his innovation and stuff, he's created a lot of space for the rest of the community to sort of to follow, right? So, you know, one of the things being the InDesign template. So that's now a whole new range of templates. I know Kanji, who we've mentioned before, he does a lot of his designs using the InDesign mode, because I think he finds that nice and quick and easy and that sort of stuff as well. But you know, a lot of his stuff has been transformative for the community. And you know, a big one is the use of the fandom wiki site. You know, he, off his own bat, he had this sort of dream for a while to, you know, bring all the homebrew content that was out there on Board Game Geek, in the Discord community, on the Facebook page, and all these different disparate sort of places into one central location where, you know, if we get the word out, people can find out about it, and it's you know, it's an easy to access sort of place. So and I think he'd built his own website to do that originally first, but then he reached out to the guys at the Fandom Marvel United page, who had set that up as an existing Marvel United wiki already, and asked if he could sort of like expand out the homebrew section and, you know, add that tab to it and that sort of stuff as well. And that's what he's done. And then so lots of others have jumped on board and now are able to share off their designs and that sort of stuff on that site. So it's been a real boon for the community there. So, like, you know, that fandom wiki, and actually I'll just quickly show you that. Pretty confident at my skills to go into present mode now. Let's have a look here. Share screen. Yep, I can do this. Okay, super quick. So you should be seeing this now. So you know, I showed this off a couple of days ago, sort of thing. But you know, this homebrew section here. I could be wrong, but this homebrew section, I believe, has all come about because of Dave. So, you know, yes, all these homebrewers, and that, you know, before I even got on the scene, sort of thing, you know, I don't want to say I'm the be all and end all of, like, oh, you know, homebrew or whatever. Like, there were the guys in the Marvel United Discord way back in the day, before I even had heard about, or, you know, thought about checking out Marvel United, were making homebrew and that sort of stuff as well. But in terms of like this website, you know, this is, I think, thanks to Dave. And so, you know, look at all the different realms here that you can sort of dive into. But if we just look at Marvel itself, you can see, you know, all these different great designs have been out there in different places, and you know, now they've got this sort of like, it's an easy to sort of upload things here, easy to find, easy to access. You know, look at this huge list of stuff here, of all sorts. So you've got like tweaks to existing designs. You've got the remade, or sorry, completely new, or some of them remade. I think there's some reskins and stuff like that down here. Villains, you've got the heroes, you've got things like team decks. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because that there was a new guy. We'll get to that down the track in a few videos maybe, making this Deadpool deck, which is pretty cool. And so yeah, that's cool. I don't think I've seen like a section here for team decks, so that's cool. That's a new thing there as well. So yeah, there's always new stuff coming up. That's pretty cool. Campaigns and alternate play modes and stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to give that a shout out, because it's a really useful site if you are thinking about getting into some of the homebrew stuff. This is a really easy place to go, because a lot of the stuff that exists elsewhere is all here in this spot as well. And if you do have your stuff somewhere else and you haven't sort of seen this before, feel free to pop it on here, or suggest, if you've seen other stuff out there and you notice it's not here, maybe suggest to those folks, they might like to share it here as well. So all good. So that's one thing. Hold on, I'm not on the right screen there. So that's one of the things, but also he's made a complete range of these campaigns. So I mentioned the campaigns for that Fall of Apocalypse, but he had, even before that, one of his first homebrew projects was to make a campaign based on the animated series, and he actually did that in a previous format before these cards were kind of like an idea from the official. Well, but then he translated his original campaign into this card format as well. So that's really cool. And as part of the Fall of Apocalypse campaign as well, he designed this, instead of the complications deck, this is an overconfident villain deck, which is essentially the same concept, but it makes the villain a little bit easier. And I've mentioned these before, but it sort of gives you a little sort of like bonuses and things like that you sort of seed into the deck. And you might think, oh, why would you want to make things easier? But the concept is, if you are someone who doesn't enjoy using the double wilds because you feel like, or even the single wilds, because you feel like they dilute out the theme of the game. And I have to stop every time I mention that. I have to stop saying, because I know I say it all the time, and I feel like I'm going to rabbit on about it. But I personally like the double wilds, but I feel like I have to stop saying that every time I mention it, sort of thing. But if you don't like the double wilds, this is a way that if you're finding a villain too hard or whatever, but you don't want to, and you want to try and tweak things a little bit, but you just don't like that from a thematic point of view, this gives you a thematic way to make things a little bit easier. So this is a great innovation if that's you. If that sort of you don't like them because of the theme, this gives you options for like making things a little bit easier. So that's awesome. Another huge thing that he's done is the Rogues Gallery mode. He spent so long playtesting and tweaking this to make sure it was nice and balanced and stuff, as balanced as you can get it, sort of thing. But so because the Sinister Six sort of mode essentially sort of uses the same sort of deck of cards, master plan cards, sort of thing, and this, I think he designed this even before the. I don't know if it had already been sort of advertised on the season 3 campaign or not, but the idea of like a rogues gallery where you have these or what do they call it, these Sinister Six assembled or whatever, where you have just like letters designating a particular villain, sort of thing. He's was able to make that, and then like a little modular board that you sort of set up with these things here. And check out, I think I've done a video showing that off before, so I'm probably not doing a very good job of showing that little particular system off. But the premise is that you can build a Sinister Six team with tons of different Marvel characters here. So there's so many you can see. So, do you want Anne-Marie from the Acolytes? Well, you got her. Do you want Ant-Man? Maybe you want him. Maybe you want to do like a Civil War fight against a Sinister Six style sort of thing. You got Ant-Man, you got Apocalypse, you got Avalanche, so you can do Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. You got Baron Zemo, you got the Black King. You can put together a bit of a Hellfire Club. You got Black Panther. Maybe you want to do some Illuminati or something like that. We've got Black Tom. We've got Black Widow. not to be left out, we've got Blob, we got Caliban. Oh, Cameron Hodge, he's pretty cool. I don't know. I wonder who designed him. He's pretty awesome. But tons. And he's put this up there. He's put the resources up there for the templates for designing these guys. So if you've got a character that doesn't exist in a Sinister Six or a Sinister Six assembled mode, and you want to um, make them available in that sort of mode, you can make your own, and then make up whatever scenario you want. And I've seen folks make dice. Oh, hey, Len, Dice It Up Gaming. Sinister Six theme is one of my favorite mechanics, right? It's a really cool fight. A lot of people love it. And why not just make it completely replayable with tons and tons of characters? So there you go. We want more. But this is, and it's a way of having more with just a single card. You want Black Tom? Well, not Black Tom. Black King. There you go. You got him. All you have to do is make a single card. So amazing. And so that is such a cool system. And I give the shout out to Kanji, because Kanji from Derek from Kanji Studios loved that idea of Dave's and jumped on board and made a ton. So a ton of these characters are actually made by Kanji as well as by Dave. And there's a really cool system too. If you're wondering, how balanced would that be? Of course it's difficult to completely balance it, but he has made this system where you sort of, based on the abilities and things you assign to your or you make for your character, you assign them these sort of like types or symbols, and then there's he gives you in the rules a bit of a chart for sort of like suggestions on how to balance your villain team around. You probably want one of these type of symbols and maybe no more than two of these symbols, and maybe you can have like 0 to 3 of this type of symbol sort of thing to give you a nice balanced team. So that's another great thing is you're able to create this stuff and still have a pretty reasonable sense of having a bit of a balanced system there. So that was really cool. And I was going to say Martin. So he's made a great Illuminati. I think some folks said, we'd really like to see an Illuminati fight. And Martin, again, one of these great generous homebrew designers, said, put his hand up and said, yep, I'll do it. And had started, so designed a specific Illuminati set with the hexagonal dashboard and everything. Made a great design, looks awesome, really cool. And if that's what you're like, if you're like, I really like this particular set of bad guys, I really like this, and you want to have like a nice sort of set that's specifically that, like I think someone's made the Civil War sets as well, so you can have like a Captain America bad guy team or a Iron Man bad guy team. Those are great, but I guess the beauty and the advantage of this is that rather than having to sort of make a whole sort of separate set with big hexagonal board for specific guys that don't that then don't interact with each other, like you couldn't necessarily put the Civil War guys with the Illuminati and that sort of thing. This Rogues Gallery mode lets you do whatever you want and have just a single card for each of them, and you could just make tons of different designs. And especially if you're someone who likes like the random play, like Andrew Fantasia has mentioned on his channel, Digital Charcuterie, the way he likes to play is just like sort of spin the wheel and see what characters come up. Again, this sort of suits that sort of style where you can just have a completely random team of bad guys that you play against and that sort of thing. So yeah, just provides another option there. So very cool. But that's what I love about this homebrew community. We've got Martin designing this great, like, purpose-built, beautiful looking Illuminati board and team and stuff like that. And then we've got like the modular options here, and it's just what a time to be in the hobby. It's really cool. So I really appreciate that. What else has he made? He's made alternate ability cards. So like if you don't like your say the was it Alpha Flight or the Fantastic Four, who have cards tied to specific team sort of things that don't really work so well with others, he's sort of made some like alternate sort of special ability cards that you can swap out for the teamwork card, and that way you can use your Mr. Fantastic sort of more as a standalone hero rather than having to be a part of that sort of team as well. He's made Hulk, special Hulk cards that sort of represent like a rage sort of mechanic sort of thing as well, which is really cool. Bit, I guess, sort of similar to the void mechanic, maybe that Sentry, you've got to kind of bit of a push you like, you got to sort of like manage that sort of thing as well. So, oh, what else has he made? He's made um, the I think that's the alternate abilities. I'm sure I'm forgetting something as well, but that's what I mean. He's made so much stuff. So, so to Dave, oh, I think this is covering my head, but I would take my hat off if I could. Um, but yeah, just made such a great range of stuff, and I've been trying to in the over the video maybe drop some little hints and stuff like that about a future um, project that he's going to be working on as well, and maybe they'll all spark trigger your memory, maybe remind you of something that you might have heard before, that a special IP that would be exciting to have in the United range sort of thing. So keep your eye out for that too, because it's very exciting if you can get that up and running, and it might even coincide and tie in with my big project that I'm working on at the moment, getting very close to sort of like uh, it's available online and stuff. The GI Joe project, you can get it on TTS, and I've put it up on the wiki and stuff, so it's all there ready to go. But I haven't really sort of like done a big sort of like announcement on Facebook or anything showing it off yet, because I wanted to have a bit of a bigger team and stuff ready. But it might coincide with something else that he's working on very cool there as well. And that's actually triggered. Reminded me of the thing I was going to say that Dave's worked on as well. Is he made this really cool kind of hexagonal board, not hexagonal board, but like hexagonal tile exploration sort of mode for Marvel United as well, which is really cool. So we sort of did a bit of play testing and stuff, and sort of didn't move much forward than that sort of thing. But it looks really cool, and hopefully he'll get to that at some point. I think it's based on the Else. I don't know if it's called the Else Worlds universe or something like that, like some sort of Elseworlds version of the Marvel universe. But it looks cool as well. So he's always thinking of new ideas. We were trying to make some dungeon crawl stuff at one point and stuff as well. We got some ideas, but we we sort of pulled back on that as well. But yeah, lots of fun stuff. So good. He's a good mate, good bloke. Super helpful, super generous with his time. Always, very positive and helps you out. So that's Diversion Architect, and just wanted to give him a big shout out today. So wow, I've been speaking for about half an hour, but oh my goodness, this was supposed to be the one that's super late because I had a big day at work today. I was going to have a short one, but this is what happens when you talk about Dave. There's just too many cool things to talk about. So thank you guys for probably listening to my rabbiting on and stuff, but I think it's worth it to give a shout out to such a big driving force in our community, and hope you guys appreciate the stuff that he has done for us. And yeah, just a lot of cool stuff to check out. So if you want to check out his stuff, if you're on the Discord, if you go to the homebrew section at all, you'll probably see him pop up there. Check out the wiki. He can't be contained in 20 minutes. That's right. Check out the wiki because a lot of his stuff is there. And yeah, just top bloke. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Big thanks to Dave for all he's done, and keep your eyes peeled for the next few videos as well. Hopefully something exciting arriving in the mail. Fingers crossed tomorrow. That'd be great on the last day of school. It'd be really cool, and some exciting stuff to show off down the track. And I'm just really excited to see what Dave's able to come up with. For his Sentinel expansion, and that sort of stuff that we're seeing in the campaign and stuff that he's got there. And we'll have to get some campaigns happening here on the channel at some point, showing off some of those as well. That'd be pretty fun as well. Yeah, I wonder what that could be, Dan. But yeah, very exciting times. So I better stop talking before I fall asleep on camera. But it's been a blast. I can't wait to see what Nellie's new song is going to be. Today's was great, except the double wild line, that was garbage. But all good. So thanks, guys. Meeple Monkey out. Have a great one. See ya.